Welcome to Sage 100 at Kapi'olani Community College. This video will go over the instructor notes for Introduction to Sage. To do your part and earn your points, you can go to Resources into the 251C Instructor Notes folder and grab the Introduction chapter or note pack, open it up, and print it out. Your handwritten notes from this printed out document will be what I'll check in class. So I don't really want anything with typed in information. So first thing is, if you're going to log into Sage and you're not from a UH location, you will need to use the UH VPN that we installed on your laptop. And mine is connected here, as you can see. I got that from the little computer icon there. However, if you're from inside a UH location, anywhere on campus, basically that you're getting UH Wi-Fi, then no UH VPN sign-in is needed. The remote desktop connection that we're going to use is built into Windows machine. You can just go Start, type remote, and get it started that way. Now, if you have a Mac, you need to go to that Mac Apple Store and select the remote desktop application that fits on your operating system. Our server address, and you want to memorize this, is ACC251C.kapi'olani.hawaii.edu. And your login credentials are your username from MyUH, as well as your password that I've assigned to you. So pay attention to this. It's the capital first letter of your first name, and lowercase second letter of your first name, followed by lowercase first two letters of your last name, and then the first four digits of your student ID number, and then an exclamation point at the end. So if I were Felicity Takarazuka, I'd be capital F, E, lowercase ta, four digits, and an exclamation point. Now, when you're going to connect, I'm going to use a student account here to connect. I'll use a student's account so we can get a realistic view of how it's going to look for you. And then notice here, while I'm here, I'm going to click the Options button, Local Resources, and uncheck the printer's checkbox. That's very, very important. And then click on the More bar, and then I'm going to go for all my local devices and resources. So printers off, local devices and resources on. So local resources, printers off, More bar, all the other things on. That's fine, video capture is okay. Main thing is printers off. The reason why you want the clipboard here enabled is you want to be able to copy paste things from the server to your local machine. There's a kind of a wall between the place where Sage is housed and your local machine. And we need to be able to pass through the wall, and that's how enabling the local resources, except for printers, will let you do that. I'm going to be tagged here and asked for a password, so I have his copy pasted here, and I'll get in. Yes. And now I've logged into the server, but I won't have anything really to be able to do until I call up the Sage 100 program. Now you can see this student, Julian, has had a tax class before, and we will type Sage to call up the program and see what we got. Now at this point, you can right click on it and pin it to your taskbar, or you can just go ahead and run it. It's up to you, depends on your preference. I'm going to go ahead and run it. And sometimes when you do even though you do your best work to put your credentials in, it will say it failed. And so then in that case, you'll need to just call it up again. And let's say I'm reading the book and I say, hey, I want the SB1 company. here. I go, oh, okay. They want me to do something with general ledger. So I'm going to go into general ledger, main, general journal entry, and then I'm going to put the date in that they want. Huh? What? Oh no, I can't do any homework. Darn it. Problem? I'm in the book. I'm in a company that no one has access to except the instructor. So you need to change your company to be the company that works for you. So I can type in like that and pick it. Then if I were to go into general journal entry and say I'm working in the April 2010 accounting period and say that I want to make an entry there, ready to go. Okay, so keep in mind, nobody can use the actual companies that are listed in the textbook. You each have your own company that looks like the company that's listed in the textbook. Now, once you're there, you need to I think it's best to leave your remote desktop window in full screen mode. And that's for one main reason. You have access to all of the controls up over here, and it's really kind of a little bit older version of Windows. So to get at the start, you really got to kind of get at this. So much easier to, otherwise you have to hover over to the right and wait for charms to come up or something like that, and that just doesn't work too well. Okay? So I'd say best bet, leave your full desktop. Now, you will find frequently when you're working in Sage that you have a peekaboo situation where, let's say we have this thing quite large and I call up some kind of a item to do inside of Sage. If I see more than one Sage icon down here, that means the thing is hiding somewhere behind. So it could be like with a little bit of it poking out the edge over here, or totally not visible, and you're going like, what happened? So if you keep trying and trying and trying, then you end up with like tuk, 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 a whole bunch of them across the bottom. So really, you only want like one instance of whatever it is you're trying to do in Sage open, or you'll get it confused. Now, when you're using your company, remember, you only have access to the company that has your name in it. And when you think you're going to be able to do something in another company and says you're not authorized to do it, in most cases, you're in the wrong company. You're like in the company that the book said to go to, which isn't, nobody can use. Or in some cases, for example, setting sales tax rates, those items are blocked from users. And you'll have a sheet where you log your reports on, and that sheet will tell you the things that you're blocked from doing. When you leave the server, you want to exit properly to make sure that you don't leave a trail of devastation behind you. So when you're in Sage, you can click this, and sometimes it may say, as you're getting ready to leave, start, sign out. It may say tasks are still active, in which case, if you know that you pretty much just closed Sage, then it's okay to go ahead and exit anyway. Uh, Otherwise, it might be a reminder that to go ahead and make sure that you've actually closed Sage. Now, there are some tricky parts of the chapter. I'd say the trickiest one is when resizing the windows in Sage. You have a possibility of not being able to get things put back together again, and I'll show you how to do that in class. Now let's go in and log in again one more time just to see what to do when you generate a report and you want to have that file locally as Excel. To do that, go into Sage again. I'm going to go make it dually. And I already have my local resources enabled and the printers unchecked, so I know I don't have to go ahead and do that step this time. And let's say I start up a company, because I have access to everybody's company and can run anything in anybody's company because I'm the manager. that, do want that. And let's say I go in here, I open up a company, I go to General Ledger, Reports, and I want a General Ledger detail report. And when I get this screen here, I can say remind me later because we're not able to use that one. And I say I want to print it. Oh yes, excuse me, I want to use my cute PDF writer and print to PDF. And it wants me to save somewhere. So my recommendation is you go to your folder for you and you generate a folder of your documents or somewhere right at the level below your name, and then go ahead and save the file there. Now, suppose I wanted to copy paste this thing somewhere else, or I wanted to just bring it down locally and print it out on a regular printer. Let's say I generate an Excel file, or I want to bring this guy down and really literally print it out on paper. If I try to print it out here, it's going to fail. So what I need to do is I need to take this file from where I find it here on the server, copy it, leave here, go out to someplace handy on my local machine, and then paste it here. Now, if I want to open this up and I want to send it to a printer, I'll have a regular printer here locally that I can send to, that I can touch and feed paper into and all that stuff, and then it'll work out okay. You cannot print directly from Sage. You have to a printer. You have to print it to PDF and then bring it down locally and print it out again. Or if it's an Excel file and you export it from Sage, you have to export to a local file, and then you have to bring it down and open it up in Excel because it won't launch in Excel. Okay. Alrighty, well, hope this helps.